Hi everyone, welcome to Club 2, Episode 7 of Rolling in the Isles, an FM20 British Isles Journeyman series with me, the United City FM. Welcome along. So, since the last episode where we started our new season with Connah's Quay Nomads. Sorry, I'm still trying to get my tongue around that name at times. It doesn't quite trip off the tongue for me sometimes. Connah's Quay Nomads is who we're with in the Welsh Premier League. Since the last time you and I were together, which was for the opening fixture of the new season against Barry, where we drew 4-4, which was a bit of a mad game, it's been quite a bit inconsistent. We got knocked out of the cup competition by Quay, which I kind of expected to, if I'm honest, but it was only a 1-0 defeat and we played reasonably well. We then got a really good win against the New Saints, which is one of the top teams in the division, which I was really surprised by. But then the form dipped a little bit with some of the lesser teams in our division, which is unfortunate. Both Llandudno and today's opponents, Haverfordwest, are both tipped to go down this season. And you can see that we only got a draw against Llandudno and Airbus UK. And then we lost against Cardiff Met Uni, which I was really surprised by. But we haven't played brilliantly in the last couple of games. We're losing too many goals against us, which is a big problem. You can see in pretty much every game that's a problem. So something that we have to work on. I've changed a little bit of the tactics just to see if we can change that a bit today and in the coming games. Today is against Haverfordwest. As I say, they are newly promoted into the division and are tipped to go back down again. So I would hope for 3 points today. I think it's important that we try and come up against the likes of Llandudno and Haverfordwest and take the points as much as is possible. In terms of anything else to tell you, well, we did confirm a couple of signings just towards the end of the transfer window. It's still got a day or two to go, but I'm not sure I'll be able to do much more in the time that we've got. So last episode I think we confirmed this guy Kerry Fenlon, who both these signings are not particularly great, but at least this guy's young and hopefully we can improve him. But I just needed squad numbers at this point. I wanted a bit more balance in the squad as to who can play where. And the last one from Haverfordwest was Jay Gibbs, and he can play in central midfield. Again, he's not brilliant. It's not that I think he's going to be a first team regular, but I needed somebody in, and he was as good as I could find. I did scour all sorts of different places to try and find better, and I did find better, but the problem is so did other people, and so I made a couple of bids for a few people, and then I was usurped by better sides, basically, that they then went to, so I missed out on a couple of my first choices, but that's just the way it works at this level, really. So my squad, I think, as far as I'm concerned at this point, is pretty much complete, unless anything else happens in terms of if we lose anybody. The only other thing that's changed here is that we let our goalkeeper go, our reserve goalkeeper. The reason that I did it was that he's now earning £425 a week at his new club, Basingstoke, but for us he was on at about £190 a week. And as a reserve goalkeeper, if we go and have a look in our squad, you can see our main goalkeeper is on 65 and the highest earners are on about 190, and so he was earning far too much money to be a reserve in the club, so I got rid of him because I just felt the need to address the wage structure a little bit and hopefully redress the balance financially. You can see we're in the red still, unfortunately, as a club, but we've now got £600 per week free in wage budget, and hopefully that will begin to redress the balance slightly. So in terms of replacing him, what I decided was that Lewis Brass, and the way that the league is structured, is he's pretty much going to play most of the games, if not all of them. We have plenty of time between games most of the time for him to recover, and if he picks up a knock, we'll need a replacement, obviously, but I don't think that he's going to miss too many games this season. So what I did, again, as I've done with a couple of other players in the squad, I bought up a guy from my under-19s, Roger Brereton, and he's 16 years old, but you can see that he's got some very key attributes that are already really positive. And I think if we can get him a few bits and pieces of action here this season and next season, we could potentially have a real good player on our hands, a really good goalkeeper at the age of 16. So that's the reason why I decided not to bring anybody in from outside the club and promote from within again. So he'll see some action, but I don't think it'll be a huge amount this season, but we'll try and keep him moving forward if we can in terms of his development. So I think that's basically it for today. There's not a lot else that I can tell you about. We currently sit 7th in the league. I'm disappointed by that because of those couple of draws, and that really disappointing loss against Cardiff Met Uni in the last game has really scuppered us. If we'd managed to get 3 points there, you can see that we'd be right up the top, near the top. So yeah, that was disappointing. So today is an opportunity to change the fortunes a little bit, get rid of some of that bad form. We play Haverfordwest. So let's check out the team that we're going to put in for today's game. So there's not a lot to tell you in terms of, it's pretty much our starting 11. Everybody's fit and healthy, so I've been able to choose who I want. You can see there are a few players that haven't played for me yet this season, but the bench have all got a game at least, and obviously the starting 11 as well. So what have we changed? Well, we were doing a gegenpress and we're quite an attacking side in terms of our mentality. I've just dropped that back to balanced and see if we can sort of keep shape a little bit better in certain phases of our play, and hope that will help us to maintain a bit of discipline at the back. I've changed it since the last game, so this is the first opportunity to see whether it works or not. I've also withdrawn our attacking fullback slightly into the automatic role rather than just piling forward all the time. And, you know, there's a couple of other little bits in transition and out of possession and stuff that I've changed just slightly, just to see if I can make a bit of a difference and see if we can secure our own goal a little bit and not quite lose the amount of goals that we have done so far. So today's game, for the game against Haverfordwest, for today's team, should I say, is Brass in goal, Tatum at right back, Owens at left back, Gardner and Edwards in central defence, Evans, Rogers and McBurney in central midfield, Sarmento on the right, Parry on the left, and Basumbru up top, with a bench of Hope, Roberts, Harris, Palmer, Fenlon, and Graham. The two Fenlons, as far as I know, are not related, but I will just check that. He's got no favoured personnel, so no, they're not brothers. But they, you know, maybe they just don't like each other, who knows. And that's the other one. So we'll just check him as well. No, there's no favoured personnel in there or siblings in that sense as far as I can see. So they are just sharing the name, not the blood. So anyway, that's just an aside. Let's get into today's game and see what happens. So in terms of a team talk, I originally went in and said to them all quite assertively that we are favourites here for a reason. So go out there and give the performance that that the fans can cheer for. And then I went into the individual sections of the side and just suggested, I have faith in you, get out there and make a difference. I want to make it as positive as is possible, but really make it clear to them that I expect a much better performance than we've had in the last couple of games. So that's as much as I can do in terms of team talk. It got a little bit of a reaction, but not too much. You can see that we are going to be playing in our red, and Haverfordwest will be playing in their light blue. They're at home today, so they get the home advantage, but that's okay. As long as our 11 players on the pitch perform well, I don't mind who's watching. So let's see what happens in this game. So the first highlight with Haverfordwest down their right-hand side over the top for Jones, who skips past the defender, has a pot shot. Did that come off the woodwork? It might have, and then there was a good foot in by a defender to clear the ball off for a corner. Good strike though, and early danger signs over the top for our defenders to watch out for. Corner comes into the centre point of the penalty area, partially cleared, but Haverfordwest pick it up the loose ball in midfield and get going again down this left-hand side, but then the highlight goes. And that will be that for this particular occasion. So we had a couple of early shots and a couple of early shots on target for us that weren't deemed viable for a highlight, but that's fairly positive, I guess. We've had a reasonable amount of possession, so that's also pretty good. We've just got to wait really for the good highlight, and here's an opportunity for us. Ball comes in, but it's very well cleared, and again it's Jones picking up the loose ball. Can we track the run? No, we can't. The first tackle flies in. Oh, The first tackle was just so wild, and he skipped past it into so much space, and the covering defender didn't get quite across quite in time, and that gave him a perfect opportunity to have a decent shot at goal just inside the box. I think he took the goalkeeper by surprise in his early shot and his placement of it as well, right in that bottom corner, and we go down to a 1-0 deficit. Fairly disappointed with that, to be honest. And here they come again, but that's a good covering header, and Rodgers in the centre of midfield for us into Evans. Can we keep the ball well and carve out some form of chance for ourselves to really put them under pressure? Playing keep ball quite well, and now it goes over, and Bru picks up the ball, and it's good covering by the defenders. They got back very well, 2 of them, to really block his road through to the goal, and they did it very nicely. But it was a good ball over the top, so some good play in there, but we didn't quite get that shot away. And that takes us through to half-time. Disappointing first half, really. Not too many highlights. You can see that the shots at goal were slightly few and far between. We've had a reasonable amount of possession, but I'm disappointed. I'm going to have to tell them so. So assertively, come on, show a bit of desire. That's the one we're going to go with. I don't think there's any reason to change anybody just at this point in terms of the health of the players, etc. We've got a yellow card to Rodgers to be aware of. We've got a bit of anxiety in there. But now they're motivated, and some of these ratings have really got to improve, otherwise they'll find themselves being subbed off and maybe dropped from the next game if it's not recovered in this particular match, because this scoreline is not good enough. And again, they find their route through to goal, and good save on that occasion, but it could so easily have been 2-0 quite easily from Jones there, and he's a real danger man, isn't he? Somehow they're finding him all the time with their long balls over the top. Good clearance from Gardner, and Bru picks up the ball. Can he hold on to it and pass it off? He does to Sarmento, but then the highlight goes away, which is really disappointing. I thought we were going to get a counter-attack kind of highlight then for us, but there we are. Here's an opportunity again to build up from the back. Gardner goes long to Bru and loses the ball, and they come back at us again too easily. We're not securely passing it around. Having said that, we've won the ball back again, but again giving it away again, and again it's that age-old thing of we don't. What happened there? Well, we're going to have to watch that again on the highlight. It seems as though the goalkeeper tapped it away from himself to clear the ball, and then just stood there and watched Bru nick it from him and score a goal. So the pass back, and Bru closes down, a little bit of a loose touch, but then he just gives up. And Bru's got absolutely no problem in putting the ball in the back of the net. And we have been absolutely gifted a goal. And to be honest, I will quite happily take it at this point. Can we use that to dominate the remaining half hour of the match and keep the momentum with us? Here's an opportunity for Rodgers down the left-hand side. Cross comes in, and it's Evans with the long shot. So narrowly wide. But it was a decent effort, but just not quite on target. And we're going to make a couple of changes in a minute and possibly change up to a more attacking style. Hold the phone. We're not going to do that. But Bru with another really good shot. He's been doing so well this season. He's one of the real shining lights, and we've got a real superstar, I think, for this level of football on our hands here. It's just about whether our defence can keep the ball out of our net enough for him to make the difference. And today it seems as though we're beginning to get that difference. And another goal for Bru, and that's really encouraging. So another loose ball for Rodgers to pick up. Rodgers and Evans keeping the ball nicely. I thought for a second they were going to get in each other's way and lose it for a minute then, but they didn't. Back to Gardner, over the top for Bru, but it was not quite well read. But the loose ball again goes back to us, and again we give it away, and it's neither side really wanted to keep hold of it for that period of play. And again they found Jones, and can we get a covering tackle in this time? We can't, but the goalkeeper eventually makes a reasonable save, but then Owens slightly messes up the clearance, and it's a corner kick for Haverfordwest. And the corner comes in, half clearance to Jones, back out to Ewart, and they miss their opportunity, and the ball gets mostly cleared, but And then the highlight goes again. 76 minutes. Let's go in and make those substitutions now. See what we've got to work with. I want to get at least one of those yellow cards out of our central midfield, and then we've got a couple of 6.4 ratings that I want to get rid of. So if we take we're going to take Rogers off, and we're going to put Harris on, and then we're going to replace Sarmento with Fenlon on the right hand side and McBurney with Palmer through the centre. And make those changes, and we're going to keep our balanced play now that we've got something to hold on to. I could go defensive, but I don't want to encourage them onto us too much. I want to see if we can hold our shape, and the time is ticking down, so we've got a couple more minutes to wait out, and another opportunity for us with Harris on the corner kick on the far side. So the corner will come in. Where will it go? Near post, far post? Goes into the near post, and a brilliant header on from Fenlon, who's just come on, and then it's Bru again at the back post, who gets his foot on the ball and pokes it home for a 3-1 lead. Lovely corner kick, so really nicely on the head of Fenlon, and then as long as there's no offside there, and there might be, I don't think so, but there might have been, but no, we take a 3-1 lead, and suddenly it makes it look as though we're in more control than we did 2 minutes ago, which is lovely to see. A 3-1 lead. Palmer picks up the loose ball now, and again we encroach on their penalty area, get into it with Evans. Takes a good shot, but the goalkeeper closes down the space very nicely, and again it goes out for a corner kick. So the corner again from Harris, and it will go again into that near post area for Fenlon, but he didn't quite win the header, and then he goes in for a challenge and gives away a foul, and the goalkeeper will take his time over this to clear the ball. But the time is ticking, and the ref's whistle should go any second now. But we win the ball back again. Have we got one more chance to get another goal in us? Maybe. Parry down the left-hand side. Very good run. Gets a decent enough cross in, but it's half cleared to Evans in midfield. Goes back to Owens, and we're keeping the ball nicely now. Just to see out those last few seconds, we did. And there again is our hat-trick hero, Bru. He has been brilliant this season. If we go through and we'll just tell them that was a fabulous result that I'm very happy with, just to keep that motivation and that delight up, get everybody a bit more confident, and then we'll go in and check on Bru and the numbers that he's got so far this season, and you'll see that he's doing very well for us. So 7 in 7 in 7 in 6 in our Premier League matches. He obviously had the cup game where he got no goal in the cup. But yeah, 7 in 7 overall for Bru, 7.64 rating, and he is a real star at this level, which is absolutely fantastic. So that's a much more encouraging result, isn't it? Just to get us a few more points on the board. You can see most teams have played their 6th match, and we've moved up the table a little bit. At this point, a couple of decent wins in the next couple of games will really, really push us into that top part of the division, which is really encouraging. So let's just check in with where we're going to come back next. We're going to come back and we're going to play. We've already played Barry. We've played Colwyn Bay in the cup. I think we'll come back and play Colwyn Bay in the league and see if we can get one over on them, considering that earlier in the season they took us out of the cup competition. So that's the next game that I'll come back for next episode with. So I'll play a couple of games in between time and see if we can keep this run of form now going and build some momentum behind the play. Because there's a couple of really tough games. Colwyn Bay, Barry and the New Saints are all supposed sort of top 3 or 4 sides in the division, so that's a hard run of fixtures. So anyway, that's for the next episode. I'll fill you in on where we've been at in the meantime, and then we'll play Colwyn Bay. So I hope you'll join me for that. I hope you're enjoying the series so far. I'm really loving the Journeyman Save. I must say, it's completely engrossing to try and figure out the issues that we've got all the time. At this level of football, it can be quite tricky, but I'm really loving every second of it. So I hope you are too. So if you are enjoying the series, please subscribe to the channel, keep up to date with the videos. That'd be great. If you'd like this particular episode, please click that like button. It's so important for the growth of my channel. My channel is growing in terms of views and a few subscribers. Welcome along if you're a new one. It's so great to have you with me, but I want more and more and more. I want more people to see the content, and the best way to do it is to click that like button so other people see me in the YouTube search function. So yeah, if you could do that for me, that would be brilliant. If you're playing Football Manager yourself, I hope you're having a great time doing it. Let me know about your save in the comments below. Always interested hearing your stories. But until next time, thanks for joining me. Take care of yourselves. I will see you soon, and bye for now.